Hello, Leos, and welcome to this, your July 2024 reading and predictions. We're going to dive right into your reading. Today, we are going to look at where you are at now, here at the end of June. As we move into the month of July, we're going to look at things that you don't see coming, the unexpected, difficult influences. What are you focusing on? What are you working towards manifesting at this point in time? And messages from the universe. So let's dive right in. I'm getting called over here to the Light Seer Tarot. If you are interested in any of the decks that I use in the reading today, check out the links down below in the description. And let's dive in. All right. We have cards jumping out already for you. We've got 3 cards that jumped out. So let's take a look. Page of Wands, the World, and the Queen of Cups. Ha, ha, ha. All right, so whenever we see a page come up in the tarot, we know that we are in for a little bit of immaturity and naivety. The Page of Wands in particular is someone who acts, what's the word I'm looking for? They act quickly, but they don't always know all of the answers before they go ahead and do it. What's the word? Impulsively. Impulsive. The Page of Wands is impulsive. So as you move out of June and into July, Leos, you're going to want to watch for impulsivity coming up. Perhaps something is being presented to you that you don't have all the answers to. And it may be a question of, yes, this is in fact a good thing. Or it could be, on the other hand, that something might be too good to be true. So you are being asked at this time to make sure that you are trying to get a little bit more information and not coming from a place of naivety, not diving in with 2 feet without first kind of feeling or sensing things out. We have the World coming out for you. I love it when the World comes out for people in readings. This is an indication that you are on the verge of leveling up, that you have worked towards learning some kind of soul lesson, which is fantastic and beautiful. And when the World comes out, it's indicating that there are new opportunities presenting themselves to you at this time. Now, having the Page of Wands right next to the World is sometimes an indication that there are opportunities being presented to you, but you may need to act quickly in order to be able to take advantage of those opportunities, the World type opportunities. But by the same token, make sure that you're not acting out of naivety or impulsivity as well. It's kind of the Page of Wands is kind of a cautionary person in that, yes, you need to go out and grab life by the whatever insert word here. But you also want to temper that with a hair of caution, okay? And you also have the Queen of Cups here. Now, the Queen of Cups is a very intuitive queen. She is in touch with her feelings, her emotions, and she is also in touch with her intuition. So, this card coming out following the Page of Wands and the World is asking you to make sure that you're tapping into your heart center and tapping into your emotional centers before you make the decision with regards to these opportunities that are being presented to you with this World card here. All right, let's move into what you are focusing on. We know that what we focus on, we often end up manifesting, regardless of whether we are focusing on it consciously or unconsciously. So let's take a look and see what the cards have to say. So you'll notice here as I was shuffling, 2 cards flipped over. We're going to drop those off. All right. What else do we have for Leo? What else is Leo working on manifesting here for the month of July? Okay. Oh, you have another page. This time you have the Page of Cups. Page of Wands, Page of Cups. Interesting. Now, if we look at the number that the page represents, it would be the number 11. The pages come immediately after the 10 in the tarot. And now that you have two of them in your reading, I do want to say that you're going to want to pay attention to the 11th of July. There's something coming up there. So let's dive in to the three cards that came up for you. You have the Ten of Pentacles, Page of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. This is what you're focusing on. Ten of Pentacles is a beautiful card to focus on. It is a card of abundance. It's a card of putting money away or squirreling money away for your future. This card sometimes, for people in Canada and the United States, this card may represent a 401k or an RRSP or an RESP, any of those types of savings plans that might be going on in your country. I'm sorry for Australia, the UK, the EU. I don't know what your plans are called, but this card sometimes represents that, and it represents that you are working towards saving for the future or saving for a rainy day. Now, this is in what you are focusing on, which is beautiful because it means, Leo, that you are focusing on and working towards setting some money aside for your future. You have the Page of Cups here. Page of Cups, again, we have this naivety involved. Now, the Page of Cups is a little bit less impulsive than the Page of Wands because the Page of Wands is ruled by the element of fire and motion. The Page of Cups is ruled by the element of water and is all about our emotions. So there may be some naivety coming into your decisions right now. You might be feeling, I want to say, Leo, that with this Page of Cups coming in your focus, you might be feeling like you want to just throw caution to the wind. And for those of you in Canada and the US, in the Northern Hemisphere, we have just come through the summer solstice. It's now officially the summer. And so this card may represent a summer fling for some of you. When the Page of Cups appears, especially when it appears in our focus, it can indicate that we are looking for something emotional, but whatever we're looking for that is emotional may end up being fleeting with this card. So just watch for that. And it may be, this card may represent some of the Leos out there who are single and going, yeah, maybe a summer fling. I don't know if I want a long-term commitment, but it'd be fun to go out on a few dates, dip my toes in the water, that kind of thing. That's the sentiment here with this one. So be on the lookout for that. This is in your focus, which means that it is something that you're looking towards manifesting, is some kind of emotional attachment with someone that may not last you. You know, they say that people come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And this card represents somebody coming into our life for a season, typically. And finally, you have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is about making things happen. It's about coming up with new ideas. The Knight of Swords is ruled by our thoughts and our mind. So this is about coming up with a new idea and then like almost forcefully ramming that idea out into the world. I want to say that there's a possibility that you've come up with a new idea for the purposes of being able to set money aside for the future, and you're gung ho on putting it into practice or implementing it at this time, Leo. So watch for that coming up in July. Let's take a look at your difficult influences. Are we going here? No, we're going over here. Difficult influences and challenges for Leo during the month of July, please. Difficult influences and challenges. Ooh, needing to make a decision. I can see that. Yeah. I mean, there was a decision indicated in the first few cards that came out with the Page of Wands, the World, and the Queen of Cups. It did indicate that there were plenty with this World card. There's plenty of opportunities being presented to you, and so you do have to make a decision, decide which direction you want to go. Okay, so in your difficult influences, Leo, you have the Two of Cups, or sorry, the Two of Swords. Two of Swords here. Two of Swords represents needing to make a decision on blind faith. You'll notice that the character on the card is blindfolded and they've got their arms crisscrossed across their heart, indicating that they need to make a decision. And it would be preferable if the decision came from a place of mind because they're crossing over their heart as if they're closing off their emotions at this time. Okay. And you have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is the happily ever after card. What is this telling me in your challenges? It's telling me, first of all, that you're struggling with a decision, one way or the other. You don't have all of the answers. And we already had an indication of that with this Page of Wands, that something was coming up for you. There was some naivety. You were going to have to move forward on something without having all of the answers. You were still being encouraged to delve deeper into things, dig deeper, but you still were not going to have all the answers before the world presented opportunities to you. And you were going to be called towards your intuition in order to make a decision. And now with this, it is confirming that you do, in fact, have a decision that you need to make, and you're not going to have all the answers. It's not going to be laid out in front of you before you make that decision. And this is your happily ever after card in your difficult influences. This is confirming what I saw over here with this Page of Cups in what you are working on focusing, that if romance comes into your life, Leo, during the month of July, there's a chance that it is not the happily ever after for you. Okay. So, and there's nothing wrong with that so long as both consenting adults are on the same page, that it's a summer fling, it's something fun, it's a few dates without any commitment. Whatever it looks like for you in your life, Leo, that's fine. So long as everyone's on the same page and you don't have one person on the page thinking that this is their happily ever after and that there's going to be wedding bells by the end of the summer and the other person's going, no man, this was a fling, I'm out of here, I leave town and I go to somewhere else for the winter, kind of thing. So watch for that dynamic coming up in July. Let's take a look at messages the universe wants you to hear. Oh, sorry, I just looked down and I thought that it was showing me that it was not recording. And I'm like, oh my God, have I gone through this whole thing and not been recording? But I was. See, this is having that blind faith and putting some trust out there. But yeah, maybe it's not a happily ever after. And I'm not even a Leo, but I do tend to, as I'm doing my readings for each of the zodiac signs, I do put myself, like I'm almost channeling, and I'm putting myself in the position or the place of being each of the zodiac signs as I do their readings. So I always watch for the synchronicities that come up. There was another reading that I did. I know you guys really don't care about this, but there was another reading that I did this month where one of the cards that came out for one of the zodiac signs was the Tower card. And in that moment, there was a huge crack of thunder outside that scared the daylights out of me and it made me jump. So I do pay attention to these synchronicities. All right, tapping back into the energy of Leo for the month of July. Messages from the universe for Leo. Messages from the universe. Anything else? Yep. Okay. Oh, look, and look at that. We have a card that flipped up as well. So we're going to grab that one out. All right. The first card that came out for you in Messages from the Universe is everyone has value. You know what? This is an important message in the context of the possibility of someone coming into your life for a season or a reason as opposed to lifetime. Right? Because sometimes if we know that someone is only coming into our life temporarily, a teacher, for example, teachers are a great example of people that come into our life. They influence us, but they're really only there for a season. So it doesn't have to be a romantic fling either. It can be just someone, a mentor, for example, someone that drops a truth bomb on you in the exact right moment. Watch for that because that's what this Page of Cups and then this happily ever after is kind of saying is that there's someone that's going to come along in the month of July and it's going to be almost a fleeting encounter, but it's going to be profound. It will affect you profoundly. But if you don't recognize that everyone has value, you may miss the lesson. You may miss the experience. If it is a summer fling, that's an experience. Lots of people want to have that, right? So there we go. Ask for guidance. Absolutely. This is always good advice. Don't be afraid to ask for help, ask for guidance. And then you're going to want to potentially ask for help or guidance by journeying within, doing some meditation, this type of thing. Journey within, because the answers that you're seeking when you're asking for guidance, they may come from outside of you with this, I don't know, fling. Or they may come from within you and from within meditation and so on. All right, let's look at what is unexpected. Unexpected for Leo. Unexpected. All right, well, we might have to go through the deck again because we don't really have anything coming out. Nope, everything went back in. So let's go through the deck one more time. Unexpected for July for Leo, please. There we go. Okay, that is a whole whack of cards. What's going to happen with them? Okay, let's take a look. Oh, wow. This is, all right. This is a lot. If this is coming up in your unexpected, wow. So let's mix them up, see what else comes out of the deck. Is there anything else for Leo? Yeah, okay. One of them's on the floor. All right, Leo. Holy smokes. When it said unexpected, this is big. This is really, really big. You have 4 cards that have come out, and all 4 cards are part of the major arcana. These are bigger messages, bigger energies, bigger influences. So, first, we have the integration card. This card corresponds to the temperance card in the major arcana. And this card is about finding your balance and things coming full circle. All right. We have the sun and the moon represented here and here. We have the yin and the yang. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. We have as above, so below. And of course, we have the snake down at the bottom eating its own tail. We have fire and water represented on this card. So we have all of those concepts represented coming in as your unexpected, but all of those concepts have an underlying meaning, and that is temperance and balance. Going through the month of July with, as much as there may be a mentor or a fling or someone coming along, again, reinforced by, your happily ever after being in your difficult influences. This is not your happily ever after. Being able to put money aside for the future. This again needs temperance and balance. Knight of Swords, definitely needs temperance and balance. So it's lovely in your unexpected that you have the temperance and balance card. Now it's interesting as well that the very next card you have is the change card. This card corresponds to the Wheel of Fortune. This is again about opportunities. This was the world closing out one cycle and beginning a new cycle with some new opportunities. This card is, again, sort of a similar meaning. It's about spinning the wheel of fate and seeing what comes up for you. This is less about choice and more about putting some faith and trust into some opportunities. And, you've got the Two of Swords here, which is making a decision on blind faith. The change card, or the Wheel of Fortune card, is kind of the Two of Swords on steroids, right? It's about saying, okay, I could do this, or I could do that, or I could do this, and I don't know which way to go. And the Wheel of Fortune is about just throwing everything up in the air and going, what's next? What do I do next? Okay, Leo, I'm going to talk very briefly about a personal story for myself. A number of years ago, I had decided on a whim in the middle of the night that I was going to buy a truck and a trailer, and my 2-year-old son and I were going to go out on this wild adventure and be nomadic and have all these great, grand adventures. Only to realize that the truck that I had bought was not big enough to pull my trailer. I had made arrangements to be able to rent my house out. My tenant fell through, and then I fell and I broke my ankle, and my truck was a stick shift truck, and it meant that I couldn't put the clutch in my truck and I couldn't drive. So I had 3 things happen to me all of a sudden, even though I had made all these plans and I had gone laser focused. This is what's going to happen. And I didn't know what to do at that point. My tenant fell through. My tenant moving into my house was going to be my income for this grand adventure. Now I had a broken ankle. I couldn't drive at all. And besides, the truck that I had bought wasn't going to work anyway. So what did I do? I put the truck for sale. I put the trailer up for sale. And I put the house up for rent, and I put it all out there on the various social media and advertisement sites. In Canada, it's called Kijiji. It's similar to Craigslist in the United States. Facebook Marketplace, eBay. I put it all out there, and I went to bed that night and I said, universe, what am I meant to do? What do I do? I don't know, because the direction that I thought I had, the universe just slapped me. That is what the Wheel of Fortune is about. It's about having a lot of opportunities presented to you during the month of July, Leo, and you going, okay, I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm just going to put it out to the universe and let the universe pick. You might have to use some creativity to be able to do that. This card corresponds to the, oh my God, I'm drawing a complete blank. The Empress. Oh my gosh. This card corresponds to the Empress in the major arcana of the tarot. The Empress is about giving birth to a new idea, putting a new idea out there. Do we have any other cards in your reading about new ideas? Absolutely, we do. We've got the Knight of Swords. He's come up with a new idea and he is gung ho to get that idea out into the world. You've got the Queen of Cups asking you to tap into your intuition. You've got Journey Within asking you to tap in, ask for guidance and help. I mean, this reading is unbelievably flowing out at this point, Leo. And finally, you have the Innocence card coming in. Now, the Innocence card is about being able to see both sides of a situation, and it's about taking the emotion, the emotional attachment, the emotional excitement out of what we're doing and just becoming the observer. This card is about putting it out into the universe and letting go. And then you've got the Innocence card coming in, confirming exactly that. There's a lot of good things here for you, Leo, a lot of good stuff coming up. But you're going to have to find balance. You're going to have to be the observer, and you're going to have to put trust and faith in the universe to help you make the decision. Let's take a look at your final general overall outcome. Final general overall outcome for Leo. I love it. I love it. There are no coincidences. Anything else for Leo for their outcome? Okay. In your final general overall, I mean, we have yet another major arcana. And remember this little card over here? This one called Happily Ever After? Four of Wands. You have the Four of Wands coming out in your outcome. And the Four of Wands is the Happily Ever After card. So it does seem like there is something coming along for you, Leo, that is a fling. It is going to be fleeting. And yet, somehow, some way from that, you are going to turn and use the Wheel of Fortune and your creativity and your ability to be the observer into your happily ever after. Ultimately, that's your end goal. I do want to say I'm still sensing a summer fling for some of you, or someone coming into your life and saying something at exactly the right moment that is very influential for you. And affects your life profoundly. But perhaps it's from that fling or from that mentor or teacher coming along and just saying the right thing at the right time is going to bring you to that place of being able to manifest a happily ever after for you. And the final card in your reading is the Sun. In the tarot, we have 3 cards that we consider the happiest cards in the deck. Number 1 is the Sun. This is the happiest card in the deck. Plans begin to work out perfectly for you. There is sunshine, rainbows, sunflowers, unicorns, and they are flooding into your life as you move out of July and into August, as that's your final outcome. Thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe. And for those of you who don't know, I am not only a tarot card reader and a psychic, I am also a certified hypnotherapist and a certified counselor with more than 20 years experience. So if this resonated for you and you'd like to delve deeper, I'll leave my contact details down below. Thank you, Leo.